I spent 9 years building a life with someone who destroyed it all in one night. That sentence kept replaying in my head as I sat in my empty living room at 4:47 a.m., surrounded by packed boxes and the ghost of a marriage I thought was solid as concrete. But let me back up, because the devil's always in the details, and this devil wore designer perfume and lies like a second skin. My name's Jack, I'm 34, and until 2 weeks ago, I thought I had it all figured out. I'd just gotten promoted to senior project manager at a tech firm in Austin, the kind of promotion that comes with a corner office, a salary bump that would make your eyes water, and the respect I'd been grinding toward for 6 years. Kate, my wife of 9 years, had smiled when I told her. She'd kissed my cheek and said she was proud of me. I believed her. I planned a celebration party for that Saturday. Nothing crazy, just close friends, good barbecue, cold drinks in our backyard. Texas summers are brutal, but that evening promised to be perfect. I'd reminded Kate about it constantly. Monday over breakfast. Wednesday after work. Friday morning before I left the house. Saturday, babe. 6 o'clock. Everyone's coming. I know, Jack. I'll be there, she'd said each time, barely looking up from her phone. Saturday came. I fired up the grill at 5:30. By 6:15, people started arriving. Marcus brought his famous potato salad. Beth and Tom showed up with a congratulations banner. Everyone asked the same question within the first hour. Where's Kate? She'll be here soon, I kept saying, checking my phone every few minutes. She had some errands to run. 7 o'clock. 8 o'clock. The sun set behind the fence, and the fairy lights I'd strung up flickered on. People were definitely noticing now. The questions came with concerned looks, the kind that said they were thinking things they were too polite to say out loud. I called her at 8:30. It went straight to voicemail. Hey Kate, everyone's asking about you. When are you getting here? I texted. No response. By 9:30, the party had that awkward energy of people trying to have fun, while pretending they didn't notice the host's wife had completely ghosted his promotion celebration. Marcus pulled me aside by the cooler. Everything okay with you too, man? Yeah. She probably just lost track of time. He nodded, but his eyes said he didn't buy it. Nobody did. People started leaving around 10. They gave me those sympathetic shoulder pats and half hugs that made my stomach twist. By 11, I was alone in my backyard, staring at half-eaten potato salad and a congratulations banner that felt like a sick joke. I called Kate again. Voicemail. I texted. Nothing. Midnight came and went. My worry shifted into something darker. My mind went to car accidents, hospital emergency rooms, worst-case scenarios. I actually pulled up the phone number for Del Seaton Medical Center, my finger hovering over the call button. That's when headlights swept across our front window. I rushed to the door, relief flooding through me, until I saw the car. It was a black Mercedes S-Class, the kind that costs more than my annual salary. The kind of car that doesn't belong in our middle-class neighborhood at 4 a.m. Kate stumbled out of the passenger side, and even from our doorway, I could tell she was intoxicated. Her walk was unsteady, her dress, a dress I'd never seen before, was wrinkled and riding up on one side. I burst out the front door and onto our lawn. The Mercedes taillights were already glowing red as it pulled away from the curb. I got maybe 3 steps toward it before the driver hit the gas and disappeared around the corner. Too fast. Too deliberate. Like they'd done this before. Kate froze when she saw me, her eyes going wide in the porch light. Jack, what are you doing up? What am I? I couldn't even finish the sentence. Kate, where have you been? I've been calling you for hours. You missed the entire party. She fumbled with her purse, wouldn't meet my eyes. Oh God, Jack, I'm so sorry. I was with some colleagues from work, and we went out for drinks, and I guess I lost track of time. Colleagues? In a Mercedes at 4 a.m? No, that was Sarah. She gave me a ride home because I shouldn't drive. Sarah drives a Honda Civic, Kate. I've seen it. Her face changed. Just for a second, something flickered there. Panic, calculation, I couldn't tell. No, I mean Melissa. From accounting. She just got a new car. A minute ago you said colleagues. Plural. Now it's Melissa? I'm drunk, Jack. I'm confused. Can we talk about this in the morning? But we both knew we wouldn't. She'd already pushed past me into the house, heading straight for the bedroom. I heard the door lock click behind her. I spent the rest of that night on the couch, staring at the ceiling, replaying every detail. The expensive car. The new dress. The way she'd changed her story in 30 seconds. The way she'd completely blown off the most important celebration of my career. Most of all, I kept thinking about how she'd acted the past few months. Not the cliched stuff you see in movies. She hadn't suddenly started going to the gym or buying new lingerie. It was subtler than that. She'd become distant. Distracted. Like her mind was always somewhere else, with someone else. Sunday morning, she came out of the bedroom around 11, sunglasses on despite being indoors, moving like every sound was a knife to the skull. She tried to apologize again, blamed it on too much wine, swore she'd make it up to me. I nodded and said nothing. She seemed relieved that I wasn't pushing it. But I was done being the trusting husband. I just needed proof. The following Friday, she casually mentioned she was going out with some friends the next evening. Just a girls' night, you know. We haven't done one in forever. Sure, I said, forcing a smile. Have fun. What time will you be back? Oh, probably not late. Midnight at the latest? Sounds good, babe. She actually looked surprised at how easily I'd agreed. She should have been suspicious. Saturday afternoon, while Kate was in the shower getting ready for her girls' night, I was in the garage, methodically going through our closets and drawers. I pulled out every piece of her clothing, every pair of shoes, every cosmetic bag and jewelry box. I packed it all into suitcases and cardboard boxes, 9 years of shared closet space, reduced to luggage. I loaded everything into her car, which was parked in the garage. Then I waited. She left at 7, wearing another dress I'd never seen, smelling like expensive perfume. She kissed my cheek on her way out. I watched from the window as her Uber pulled up. Interesting choice, not driving her own car tonight. 8 o'clock came. 9. 10. At 11:30, I moved all her packed boxes from her car into the front yard. Then I sat on the porch steps in the darkness, phone in hand, waiting. The black Mercedes rolled up at 12:47 a.m. I stood up, stepped into the glow of the streetlight, and crossed my arms. I wanted them to see me. I wanted this to be as uncomfortable as possible. The car idled at the curb for a long moment. Through the tinted windows, I could see movement, 2 silhouettes close together. Then they shifted, and even from 15 feet away, I could see exactly what they were doing. My wife was kissing another man in a Mercedes S-Class, while I stood in front of our house like a sentinel. The kiss broke off. The passenger door opened. Kate stepped out, and the look on her face when she saw me was almost worth the 9 years I'd wasted on her. Jack! I held up a hand and walked directly to the driver's side window. It rolled down slowly, revealing a man in his 40s, silver hair, expensive watch catching the streetlight. He had the look of someone who bought whatever he wanted and never faced consequences. Good evening, I said, keeping my voice level and polite. My name's Jack, and I'm Kate's soon-to-be ex-husband. You don't have to sneak around anymore. He stared at me, mouth slightly open, clearly not expecting this approach. I turned to Kate, who was frozen on the sidewalk, mascara already starting to run. Oh, and Kate? You can take your belongings right now. I've already packed everything. Jack, please let me explain. There's nothing to explain. I saw everything I needed to see. The man in the Mercedes, I still didn't know his name then, seemed to regain his composure. Look, man, I didn't know she was married. Yes, you did, I said calmly. Otherwise, why would you be dropping her off at 1 in the morning instead of pulling into the driveway? He had no answer for that. Kate was openly crying now, reaching for me, but I stepped back. I don't know who you are, I continued, looking at the driver. And honestly, I don't care. You want her? She's all yours. Then I looked at Kate one last time. I want you out of my house by tomorrow evening. You can take what's in those boxes or leave it on the curb, your choice. We can do this divorce amicably and quickly, or you can fight me and discover exactly how unpleasant I can make your life when I'm properly motivated. Your decision. I didn't wait for a response. I got in my truck, started the engine, and drove away, watching in the rearview mirror as Kate stood sobbing in our front yard, and the Mercedes peeled away from the curb like the driver couldn't escape fast enough. I spent that night at Marcus's place. He didn't ask questions, just handed me a beer and set up the guest room. Good friends know when to talk, and when to just be present. Sunday morning, I called a divorce attorney named Patricia Chun, who'd been recommended by a colleague. She had a reputation for being thorough and ruthless. Perfect. I want this done fast, I told her. We have no kids, no shared business interests. The house is in my name. I bought it before we married. I want her out, and I want this finalized. Texas is a community property state, Patricia warned. She's entitled to half of anything acquired during the marriage. Fine. Whatever. I don't care about the money. I care about being legally free of her as quickly as possible. That, I can do. I went back home Sunday evening. Kate's car was gone. So were all the boxes. She'd left her key on the kitchen counter, with a note written in her looping handwriting. Jack, I'm so sorry. I never meant for this to happen. Can we please talk about this? I love you. Kay. I crumpled the note and threw it in the trash. The divorce papers were filed by Wednesday. Patricia worked fast. Kate was served at her office. I'd made sure of that. I wanted her co-workers to see, wanted the embarrassment to be public. Petty? Maybe. But I was just getting started. Kate tried calling me 47 times that first week. I blocked her number. She tried emailing. I set up a filter. Everything from her went straight to Patricia, who responded with nothing but legal correspondence. Through Patricia, I learned that Kate had been seeing this man, Victor, turned out his name was, for about 6 months. He was a real estate developer, divorced, owned that Mercedes and 3 others. Kate had met him when she was showing houses. She worked for a real estate agency, and apparently he'd been very persuasive with his wallet and his attention. But here's where it gets interesting, and where my patience for playing nice completely evaporated. 2 weeks after I kicked her out, Patricia called me with news. Jack, Kate's lawyer reached out. She's contesting the division of assets. She wants half the house value, half your retirement accounts, and spousal support. I laughed. Actually laughed. We were married 9 years, and she cheated. Texas is a fault state. Yes, but proving infidelity can be tricky, and her lawyer is arguing that you have no concrete evidence beyond suspicion and... I have evidence, I interrupted. Trust me. Because here's what Kate didn't know. I'd been documenting everything since that first missed party. Screenshots of every unanswered text. Phone records showing her calls to an unknown number, Victor's, I assumed. Credit card statements showing charges at expensive hotels on days she'd claimed to be working late. But most importantly, I'd installed a discreet security camera on our front porch after that first Mercedes incident. Just a small doorbell camera, perfectly legal. It had captured everything from Saturday night in beautiful high-definition video. Kate kissing Victor in the car, the conversation on the lawn, all of it. I sent everything to Patricia. She went silent for a full minute after reviewing it. Jack, this is more than enough. I can bury her with this. Do it. But I wasn't done. Not even close. Through a friend of a friend who worked in tech, I'd done some digging on Victor. Turns out Mr. Fancy Mercedes had a reputation. Not just as a real estate developer, but as a serial affair haver. He was known for targeting married women, showering them with expensive gifts and promises, then moving on when things got complicated. I found 3 other women he'd done this to in the past 2 years alone. One of them, a woman named Jennifer, had actually lost her marriage because of Victor. Her ex-husband had been less forgiving than I was pretending to be. I reached out to Jennifer through social media. We met for coffee. She was hesitant at first, but when I explained my situation, she opened up. Victor's a predator, she said. He gets off on the power dynamic. He doesn't actually want these women. He wants the thrill of taking them away from someone else. Does he know Kate's married? Jennifer gave me a look. Of course he does. That's the whole point for him. That's when the plan crystallized. I had Patricia draw up the divorce papers with the most aggressive terms possible. I was claiming infidelity, demanding she cover her own legal fees, and offering her exactly nothing beyond what Texas law absolutely required. Kate's lawyer pushed back hard, threatening to drag this into a lengthy court battle. Perfect, because while they were preparing for legal war, I was preparing something else entirely. I contacted all 3 of Victor's previous affair partners. Jennifer introduced me to the other 2, Michelle and Sonia. All of them had stories nearly identical to Kate's. Expensive dates, secret meetings, promises of leaving their mundane marriages for something more exciting. All of them had been discarded once things got messy. I want to make sure he can't do this to anyone else, I told them during one of our meetings at a coffee shop in South Austin. Are you willing to help? They were very willing. Victor owned several high-end properties around Austin that he used for both business and his affairs. Through some careful social media stalking, we discovered he was hosting a major investor event at one of his luxury properties in 3 weeks. A big schmoozy affair where he'd be courting wealthy clients and showing off his success. Kate, I'd learned through mutual friends, was planning to attend as his date. She'd been bragging to people that she'd found someone so much better than me, someone who actually appreciates her. The event was on a Saturday evening. I made sure my divorce attorney scheduled our first mediation session for the following Monday morning. That Saturday, while Victor and Kate were entertaining investors and pretending to be a glamorous couple, Jennifer, Michelle, Sonia, and I were preparing a little surprise. Michelle had saved every text message Victor had sent her. Hundreds of them, many of them explicit, many of them sent while he was supposedly in exclusive relationships. Jennifer had kept emails and gifts, complete with receipts. Sonia had actual recordings of phone conversations where Victor had outlined his exact strategy for seducing married women. We compiled everything into a comprehensive dossier. Text messages, emails, photos, a complete timeline of Victor's affairs spanning 3 years. We even included the doorbell camera footage of him with Kate, just for good measure. Then we sent copies to 3 places simultaneously: Victor's business partners, the investor group he was courting that very evening, and Kate's employer. The emails went out at 8:47 p.m., right in the middle of Victor's event. I wasn't there to see it personally, but Jennifer had a friend who was attending. She texted me updates in real time. 8:51 p.m. Phones are going off everywhere. 8:55 p.m. Victor just got pulled aside by 2 men in suits. They look furious. 9:02 p.m. Victor's yelling at someone on his phone. Kate looks confused. 9:15 p.m. 3 people just walked out. More following. 9:23 p.m. Event's basically over. Victor's having a complete meltdown. Kate's crying in the corner. By Monday morning, the fallout was spectacular. Victor's business partners had called an emergency meeting. Turned out, several of the investors at that party were married men who now had very uncomfortable questions to answer from their own wives about why they were associating with someone like Victor. 2 major deals fell through over the weekend. His reputation in Austin's real estate circles was completely torched. Kate showed up to mediation looking like she hadn't slept. Her lawyer looked even worse. Patricia barely had to say anything. Kate's lawyer opened with, "My client is willing to accept the original terms with no contest." "No spousal support?" Patricia asked, feigning surprise. "No spousal support. She just wants this resolved quickly and quietly." I almost felt sorry for Kate. Almost. Then I remembered my promotion party, remembered 9 years of what I thought was a solid marriage, remembered her lying to my face at 4 in the morning. "One more thing," I said. "I want a signed statement from Kate admitting to the affair and acknowledging that it was the sole cause of the divorce." Her lawyer started to object, but Kate cut him off. "Fine. Whatever. Just make this stop." She signed everything. The divorce was finalized in record time, 6 weeks from filing to final decree. But I still wasn't done. Kate's employer, the real estate agency, had received their copy of the dossier too. Turned out, having an affair with a client was a pretty serious violation of their ethics policy, especially when that client was a major player in the local market. Kate was fired within a week. Victor's company didn't survive much longer. The combination of lost investor confidence, severed partnerships, and a sudden reluctance from the Austin business community to work with him led to him selling off most of his properties at a loss. Last I heard, he'd left Austin entirely, moved somewhere out west. Kate tried reaching out to him after the dust settled. According to Jennifer, who had remarkably good intelligence networks, Victor blocked her immediately, just like he'd done to all the others once they became inconvenient. Kate ended up moving back to her parents' place in Dallas. I heard through mutual friends that she was working retail while trying to get her real estate license reinstated. The friends also stopped being mutual pretty quickly. Turns out, when people see the evidence of what she did, they tend to pick sides decisively. As for me, I took the money from the divorce settlement, which was minimal but still more than she deserved, and put it toward renovating the house. Got rid of every piece of furniture we'd bought together, every decoration she'd chosen, every reminder that she'd ever lived there. It was cathartic, like erasing a mistake. The promotion I'd celebrated without her? It was just the beginning. 6 months after the divorce, I got another promotion. This time, I celebrated with real friends, the kind who show up when you need them. Marcus gave a toast that night. To Jack, who proved that the best revenge isn't getting even, it's getting better. I'll drink to that. Some people say revenge is empty, that it doesn't actually make you feel better. Those people are wrong. Every time I hear about Victor trying and failing to rebuild his reputation in whatever city he's landed in, I smile. Every time I remember Kate's face when she realized I'd outplayed her at every turn, I feel a warm satisfaction. She wanted excitement. She wanted someone who appreciated her. She got exactly what she deserved, nothing. And me? I got my life back, my self-respect intact, and the satisfaction of knowing that I didn't just walk away from betrayal. I made sure it cost something. Marcus asked me once if I'd do anything differently. Would you have fought harder to save the marriage? Gone to counseling or something? You can't save something when the other person's already burned it to the ground, I told him. The only question is whether you're going to stand there watching it burn, or whether you're going to make sure everyone knows who started the fire. Kate took 9 years from me. I took everything from her that mattered: her relationship, her job, her reputation, and the fantasy that her actions wouldn't have consequences. People ask if I'm bitter. I'm not. Bitter is when you're still carrying the wound. I'm healed. I'm thriving. I'm proof that you can be betrayed and come out better on the other side, especially if you're strategic about how you handle it. The divorce papers are in a filing cabinet somewhere. I haven't looked at them in over a year. Don't need to. That chapter's closed, and unlike Kate's story with Victor, mine actually has a happy ending. Because here's what she never understood, and what Victor definitely didn't anticipate. You can break someone's trust, but if they're smart enough and patient enough, they'll make sure you regret it for a very long time. I didn't just get revenge. I got justice. And I got my life back. That's worth more than any apology she could ever offer. Thank you for watching the video to the end. YouTube may no longer suggest my channel to you, so subscribe to it to receive new interesting stories. You will also help the channel grow and improve the quality of its content. A playlist with other interesting stories that you can listen to is now displayed on the screen. You can also write in the comments what stories you would like to see on the channel.